Well, the new Tyvek paper has finally arrived, so I'll be able to get back to this Angem clock now, Angem 25 movement, and get it completed. I was waiting for the Tyvek paper to arrive. So we'll be able to clean up this movement because it's pretty dirty. You can see all the oil and gunk and stuff on it. Alright, let's do the bellows first, then we'll take the movement apart and see what we're up against. Put the movement over there. Well, this is the bellows we're going to work on, the bellows top. Sounds a bit weak and feeble. That's because there's a great crack in it down here. So we're going to have to remove that. Oh, there's also a crack there. We're going to have to remove that bellows material and put some new Tyvek paper on it. Though first up, I'll take out this little hook here for the lift lever note. I'll take that out rather carefully, don't want to damage it. Mind you, it's hanging in there pretty well. Alright, fair enough. Put him aside there. Now, first thing we do is we've got to get rid of the old bellows material. So, I'll start off with a, there you go, that came to piece in a hurry, that was easy. I'll run round and pull off the old bit of paper on it, and then we'll start scraping to remove the glued down section. And get that cleaned up. A little bit down there, it's glued on. Cut in both ways, that'll solve the problem. Thank you, gone. Right, now across the front. And back. Down the other side. Comes off pretty easily. Little bit caught on the end down there. I'll run over that with a 600 stick in a moment and take that little rough bit off, but we'll remove the old paper from the back. First up, here we go. Now, just very quickly run over that with a 600 mesh stick and take the sharp edge off that all the way around. Alright, now that's done alright. Now we'll just check make sure the pipe's working by blowing down it. That didn't sound too bad at all. Alright, now for the top, this horrible mess. Alright, I'll run a knife cut down there so we don't lose too much of the original topping on this one, because I can't get that red anymore. Can't find that anywhere. So I'd like to retain that instead of have different coloured paper top on it. Though, same thing, scrape off the old paper. We want to get as much as possible of, because we want the wood to be pretty clean so that the new glue will attach to it very easily. Actually, I'll take half of the thickness of that red cap off there, because I'm going to need some more space to put our new Tyvek paper on. There we go. Clean that, run it back, that little bit on the end. Okay. Up the side now, comes away pretty easily. We just have to make sure that the timber is pretty clean. across the front. Once again, I'll cut a third of that off, of that topping off, to give us some extra space for the Tyvek paper to stick on. Alright, that doesn't look too bad. Well, we're ready to start cutting some Tyvek paper now and then attaching it to our bellows. That seems to be pretty good nick there. Not much glue caught on there. Alright, first up we'll measure and see how much paper we need to cover the bellows. That's 45 millimeters and that is 32. So we need 45 by 2, which is 90, and 32, 122, we'll make it 125 to give us just a little bit to play with, because initially we're going to put the hinge on the back first, so we don't need to take that into account when we're doing our measurement to see how much we need round there. Alright, now I've got a bit of Tyvek paper here that we'll use for the bellows. It's just long enough, they tend to be the same size, but it's too large, we only want about half that. So I'll bend that in half, be more accurate than trying to measure it. Bend it in half that way. That will then give us sufficient to go on the top of the bellows and that piece to go on there. Yep, that works out alright. So I'll cut that with a pair of scissors and save that piece, because that's for the next set of bellows I do. Alright, I'm using super glue this time. I'll get rid of that lump there and I'll spread some of that. It's a gel, so I'll spread it in little drops along the piece of wood there, and then take up our hinge, make sure it's flat, and then push it onto the timber and hold it there. Right, that's dried for 30 seconds now. That looks alright. What I'll do now is I'll put some glue along this edge here and then we'll attach it to the other half of the hinge there. Just slowly, meticulously working along, not in any hurry, and we don't want too much. Just enough to hold it. Take up the pipe. This is the pipe, this is the bellows up here. I'll place that on top, align it squarely, both sides and the front, hold it firmly, and then push the hinge down, and then I'll run over it the back of a pair of tweezers just to make sure that it's perfectly flat, and it doesn't take very long to grip at all. Now back to our measurements, 125 millimeters. I'll take out our piece of Tyvek and grabbing our mechanical pencil, I'll cut this little flap off down here, might make it a bit easier. All the bits and pieces just sitting over there to use for hinges. Alright, so we want 125. So it's the 150 mil rule. So 125 is that amount. And we need a square side for a start. So I'll mark that there. I don't think that is coming up very strongly. Actually, what I'll do, instead of marking it, I'll cut it now. That'll be the easiest way to do it, I think. Right, back to where we were. This time we're going to cut it first up. Alright, that's 125 mils to there. 125 mil. So we want a nice straight line down there. And I've changed the blade so it's brand new. So we should get a good clean cut, which we do. I'll take that piece off. So that is what we're looking for. That goes out. Now the next measurement we need is how wide the bellows open. So we hold the bellows open and usually about 30, but I think that paper's a little bit short, I think. Yeah, they're usually about 30 mil. So we'll measure down here 30 millimeters, and I'll make a mark on the paper. 30 mil is there, and the other one from our nice clean edge up here, 30 mil. So we'll align those two marks as closely as possible. That seems to be about it. Alright, we'll cut that piece. Nice, clean, firm cut. Done. Now we need to cut this piece up here, which is right there. Alright, line that up, and there we go. One easy cut. I'll take that little knobble off that end. And that's our piece of Tyvek paper.